You can customize 3 things in the loading screen: the background image, the text, and the icon. You need a minimum of 2 images for the loading screen. They both need to be 1920 by 1080 and in PNG format. Since there's some info stuff on the right side, make sure to take the screenshot in such a way that does not hide what you want to show. Okay, start by placing those 2 images in your Maps add-on folder here and name them in this format. You can have up to a maximum of 10, which the game will randomly display when loading into the map. Notice that this is in /content, not in /game. If you don't have this 1080p folder, create it in the same path as you can see here. Now, go in Hammer and open the material editor. Create a new shader and select CS2KZ Composite Generic. If you can't see that, untick Show Preferred Shaders and then click Show Dev Shaders. Save your material in the same folder as your screenshots and name them in this format. Naming is really important here, so make sure to use the name of the map instead of the name of the add-on.
Post-production here, what I mean by this is we use the VMap name, not the add-on name. Those two can be different.
Add your image in the shader here, then save. For the second picture, same thing. Create another shader and also name it under the format. Add the other image, then save. Finally, go in this folder and you should see something like this. Change the vtext file names to this format and you should now be done. You can open the compiler, click Run, Skip Build, and you should see the image show up. This one is very simple. To change that, go to this folder, create a text document, and name it exactly as the name of your map VPK. In my case here, it's lag_test. Then open it and leave at least 2 empty spaces before writing anything. 2 spaces looks like this, 1 like this, and no spaces like that. For the icon, the game uses an SVG file. What you can do is use a circle cropper like this, and to convert the file to SVG, you can use this website. Increasing the number of colors will improve the quality most of the time. Anyway, once you have your file ready, all you have to do is put it in this folder and name it in this format. After you compile your map, loading into it should show it. If you don't want to compile your map, you can find it in the asset browser, force compile it, and then you should just be able to load into the map and see it. To double check, you can go to this folder here and you should see a file similar to this. Super simple. All you have to do is place this entity and make it point towards somewhere with a nice background. You're gonna compile your map to see the result. Here's how it looks with and without. Post-processing is very powerful and can completely upgrade the appearance of your map. You can easily change stuff like saturation, vibrance, color, and add bloom. In this particular example, I'll be using the AGX vPost that GameGears shared in the Assets channel in the KZ Mapping Discord. You can find other ones in there as well. Pretty simple to add. Download the files, then put them in your Maps add-on folder. Then open Hammer, create a block, turn it into a post-processing volume, add the post-processing file, then click the master volume box. This will make the post-processing affect the whole map without you having to be inside of it. Next, open the post-processing editor by double-clicking on this icon. Click AGX, click those 3 little dots, open the AGX loot file that was included in the folder you downloaded, then save. You should now be done. All you have to do now is to compile the map to see how it looks. To make adjustments, you don't need to compile the map again. While you have CS2 Hammer opened on the map, changing the values in the vPost editor will change it in real time in-game. You can add different layers like bloom, vibrance, and anything else you want. It's really fun to experiment with. From what I've seen on this Blender website, AGX basically makes bright colors go white, similar to real cameras. This is a very nice illustration of what it can do. If you have point world text entities in your map, there are ways to improve their quality. Sure, point world text is not the prettiest way to display text in your map, but it definitely is the easiest. As a world text enthusiast myself, you just gotta make the most out of it. There are levels to this game. Anyway, lowering the world units per pixel and increasing the font size will give you a higher resolution text. Combined with another font style and you can get it looking pretty good. Split zones will display your current time when you touch them. They are only used to give the player information on whether or not they are on a good time compared to their previous runs. Whether the player touches the split zone or not does not affect the attempt. However, I would highly recommend placing them in ways that the player cannot avoid. Split zones require the mapping API, link in the description. To make them, assuming you already have a course in your map, start by creating a trigger multiple. Set the trigger type to split zone. Set the course descriptor name of your course, in my case it's best course, and then the split number. Since this is the first split, it's gonna get the number 1. For the next splits, all you have to do is copy the trigger, then change the split number to 2, 3, and 4, and so on. You can use particles to give zones and teleports a more appealing look. The same particle system can also be used to make it snow or rain. I've linked Word's tutorial in the description showing how to do it. Side note, the files needed for those particles should go in the particles folder in your map's add-on. If you don't have that folder, create it in the same path like you see here. There's also an example map by Word that I linked in the description.